All right, everybody, The Woman King, fresh out of Toronto Film Festival, has debuted in cinemas, and I saw it. Let's talk about it. Folks, I've been excited for The Woman King for a while. Just to give you some background, I started this little fantasy football-esque kind of thing for movies. I was inspired by somebody else who did it, and twisted it to make it my own, and I drafted The Woman King. And so obviously I'm rooting for its success. I would be either way because I enjoyed it, spoiler alert. But I mean, I've been looking forward to it for a while. Viola Davis, obviously an incredible actress. She called this her magnum opus, and so whenever, any talented person says that, you should pay attention, because I mean, it's either a marketing gimmick or they mean it, and you're in for a treat. Let's get into what I thought of the film. First of all, speaking of Viola Davis, let's talk about the performances. There's not a bad one here, frankly, but you have three that really stood out to me, and I'm sorry to every other member of the cast because you're all great. I'll say four. Let's start with John Boyega, who I thought was great. I really enjoyed him in the film Breaking. Came out earlier in August, and he is just phenomenal in that film. One of the best performances of the year, in my opinion. Super heart-wrenching. And then here he plays obviously a very different role, but he does enough to stand out. There are also three other performances. I'm going to mention another one. I really like. I'll mention two more, for God's sake. Everyone in this movie is very good. It's an incredible ensemble. You have his wife, who is sort of ambitious, hungering for power, and I really recognized her face, and I liked her acting a lot. She's not given a ton to do, but I think she's really good, and I look forward to seeing her in more stuff, because she's also in The Batman. She played Bella Real, the mayoral candidate, the current mayor, I guess, of Gotham City in that universe. So I look forward to seeing her more there, as well as other roles, because I really liked her in this. I really liked I forgot their names, but the woman force, the army. It's Viola Davis's sort of right-hand woman. She's very good in the film. Again, not given a whole ton to do, but whenever she's there, she's super good. She has a really great dynamic with Viola Davis's character. Then you get to my three favorite of the film. Lashana Lynch, who was in No Time to Die, that's how I know her. She, of course, took the mantle over from James Bond at the beginning of that film. She was 007 for quite a bit of time. Phenomenal in this film. Absolutely phenomenal. I really enjoy her performance. She's sort of the most fun. She's given the most to do. Her character is not the best written. I had some problems there, just because it was a little predictable where they're going with it, but I digress, because her performance was impeccable. It was I could not have asked for more. Charming, hit all the right emotional beats. She's a very important to the plot, and I think she nailed it. Then you also have Thuso Mbedu. I apologize if I pronounced that wrong, but she's really the breakout of this film, a co-lead, I would say, with Viola Davis. Because a lot of the film centers around her, and I think she is very, very good. I don't know if she's been in anything prior to this. She does seem pretty young. But just a remarkable performance from her. Really emotional, heartfelt, but also fierce, and just everything you want from this warrior, and arrogant too. Just brings so much to the table here with this character. But I think, as expected, Viola Davis is the real knockout of this film, who brings such a layered... I mean, she is just a remarkable actress. It's impossible to go wrong with Viola Davis, whether it's comedic or intense. I think of a film like Fences, or her role as Amanda Waller in the DC universe. I mean, she can just do everything. And here, again, she manages to absolutely kill it. I don't know if I would call it her magnum opus, but I do think she brought a lot to the table. I think this is probably a very, very important film for her. She was a producer on it, and I think it's a different role, is what you keep hearing about this performance. And it certainly is. It's not like anything she may have done before. I certainly can't associate it with any other performance she's given, but I thought she was absolutely incredible in it. I want to talk about the action now, because this is, of course, an action film. For a lot of it, and I will say that there's an action scene at the beginning, and then it does take a long break, and then you get a lot of action at the end, and the climax is just absolutely masterful. But whenever there is action, the choreography is astounding. Like, it's just, I love films with incredible choreography because I'm just in my seat. I have a smile on my face the entire time, and I'm just watching and I'm gasping and I'm going, ooh, at all the brutal, like, they have me in the palm of their hand. They really do. I'm a sucker for good choreography. And the film had a lot of it. You know, they're fighting with spears, with swords. They're throwing stuff. It's a regular John Wick. I mean, everybody's incredible here. And it just brings such a smile to my face because it's just so satisfying. And again, the climax here, you got it fits so well within the story as well. But the choreography here is certainly admirable. I will also shout out the production design because I feel like, you know, those guys don't get enough credit, and the costume design, I will say as well, because they don't get enough credit, and they are such an instrumental part in crafting the world that you see in front of you. On the big screen, you are immersed in the Dahomey, their world, and also the port colony. I forgot what it was called, but it just feels like you're completely transported, and you believe every little bit of it because everything. I mean, I don't know the personal history. I don't know how good a job, how faithful they were, but it doesn't matter to me because I feel perfectly transported into the world of the Woman King. And then I will get into my only problem with the film. Maybe two problems. One, the pacing is a little off, which has to do with my main problem with the film. The pacing is a little slow. That's what I mean by off. And the problem is that the script follows a very basic plot line. It does it exceptionally well. There are parts that it does a lot better than other films, but it's a pretty standard journey. You have the outcast who comes to find a new family, who grows with the family, who proves themselves. She goes through a whole training montage. She becomes a part of what she wants to become, yada yada yada. Then it all comes crumbling down a little bit. Spoilers here now, okay? You can just skip maybe a minute or so. I don't really know for sure. But just spoilers for this next section. Blah, blah, blah. Leave. Cool. She loses sort of her mentor figure, and then she comes to prove herself. The family comes and rescues her. They get over their main differences. Yada, yada, yada. All is said and done. The bad guys lose. The good guys win. And it was very entertaining. I enjoyed the film, but being a little basic held it back, in my opinion. And again, the pacing was just a slight problem there. And I really, unfortunately, do not know how well this is going to hold up on rewatches, because especially scenes like the just training montage and watching her come to become the person she is at the end of the film is very entertaining the first time. But once you know exactly how it happens and the manner it happens, it loses a bit of the appeal, in my opinion. Now, that maybe that's not fair for me to say because I haven't seen it a second time, but the film was exceptionally well made, and just a tad bit basic would be my only complaint. All said and done, I would absolutely recommend that you see The Woman King. Let me know what you think of it for yourself. I really like historical epics in general. I love history, so I'm glad that we get a film like this, and specifically African history is something that is almost never explored, and if it is typically explored from a certain narrative perspective, that being slavery, unfortunately. So when you get a film like The Woman King, which, first of all, it does touch on slavery because that is a part of the history there. And I'm not going to get into the whole controversy. I don't know if you guys know watching this video, but there certainly is a controversy around boycotting Woman King. Pretty ridiculous if you ask me, but you can, of course, find some source out there on that. But I really enjoyed that it took a fresh perspective on African history. I left the film and I immediately looked up the history of the Dahomey people and their time in Africa. What was the country? I was going to say the country, but I forgot. It's really bothering me now. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. But I'll probably put it up anyway. So go see The Woman King. Studios keep making historical action epics like this. Keep making films about Africa because it doesn't get enough representation compared to everything else. I enjoyed The Woman King. I am going to give it a 7 just because I did have that problem. It was a little too basic. 7. Man, I'm really switching. I'm going to give it a B, a high B, which also translates to a 7 out of 10 on my scale. And I enjoyed it. Please watch it. Make up your own mind. I know a lot of people who really love this film. Movies are back. Alright, folks, I've been EDPC Reviews. The next film I see will probably be Don't Worry, Darling, which is, it's been taking the world by storm recently. So, folks, stay tuned for that. Let me know what you thought of The Woman King down below if you saw it, if you agree or disagree with any of my complaints or praises of the film. I have been EDPC Reviews. You've just been the absolute greatest viewer of this channel of all time. Bye-bye.